Hello, my friends. Today we are going to look at how to use College Board's Big Future, particularly the college search. So when you get to the Big Future website, you're going to click on Search for Colleges, and it's going to bring you to a screen where you can do a college search, but you can filter it based on some of your preferences. So I'm going to go very quickly through some of these preferences and make some choices so you can see what it looks like to filter your selections. The first one you come to is test scores and selectivity. As you most of you know, test scores meaning like SAT scores, ACT scores, you could actually put them in here, and it would give you a list of schools that you would be eligible for. Selectivity is just whether a school is more selective or not in their admissions process. And if you're looking at this thinking, I don't really know what selectivity means, College Board does a great job throughout this whole application. It will give you an explanation of what that is and what that would mean to you. It even gives you real world applications of that information. So if you're confused about a particular filter, you can click over here. Right now, for this random search, we're not going to click either of these, but when you're doing it on your own, you might want to do that. Okay, again, like I said, we're just going to do a general search and keep in mind if you're clicking on a filter and you're like, I don't know what that is, look over here to the right hand side and College Board explains it to you. Also, if you're clicking on a filter and you're thinking, I don't know why that would be important to anyone, it will definitely, again, these explanations over here will be important to you. All right, so let's do a random selection. I'm going to go with four-year college or university. And you can see over here, it gives you a continuum. Must I have a four-year? Do I want to have a four-year? Or do I really not care? I don't think anybody's going to put it over here because you wouldn't use this filter if you don't care about it. So I'm going to click four-year and it's a must-have for me. I'm going to click public, but I'm going to say I want it to be public, but that's not something that I'm going to say I have to have. Size, I'm not going to choose because I just am not. You can if you want to, but size of the school, this is the number of students. As you can see, our high school is actually the size of a small college or university. Some of you, it might be important to have a single sex campus. I'm going to go ahead and choose co-ed and say that you want to have, or we want to have both males and females. And then the last one here for type of school is religious affiliation. Some schools are actually affiliated with a particular religion. So you could choose that there. I don't have a particular preference. And for this search, I'm just going to leave that blank. The next one is location. This actually might end up being important to you. You can filter based on how close it is to your home, a region of the US or an actual state, or even you can search outside of the US. For our purposes, I'm going to go ahead and pick Virginia because I would venture to guess some of your families have said if you're going to school, you're going in Virginia. So I'm going to pick Virginia. Campus housing, this is definitely something to consider. The setting. Rural means like a country setting. Suburban would be like here in Virginia Beach. And then urban would be like a city setting, like Richmond. Residential or commuter, this is a big deal. I'm going to choose most students live on campus. Commuter school is where students come to school or come to campus and take their class and then go home. Oftentimes when students live on campus, there's more social activity. It's more of a community on campus. So I'm going to choose that because I like the idea of going away to school and my other fellow students are also living there on campus. Housing availability, this is talking about dorms or apartments, whatever they provide on campus. Special housing options, you can look and see if any of these would be a big deal to you. The last one here is cars for freshmen. You might be surprised to learn that not all colleges and universities allow freshmen to have cars on campus. So that if that's important to you, there's another filter. The next filter that can have some real impact, and again, if you don't know what the filter means, use these explanations. But majors, study options, and extended class availability. So the majors, you're going to choose, or you can if you want to use this filter, you're going to choose a specific major. Now, keep in mind, sometimes, a lot of times, actually, people change their major multiple times while they're in college. And even more people end up working in a field that has nothing to do with their major. However, you do want a place to start. So I'm just going to choose one. I'm going to choose I'm going to say a field of study, just health and medicine. I'm not going to do a specific major, just a field of study. When you're playing with it on your own, if you know what you want to major in, then plug it in there. That'll give you some good results. Study options. A lot of times students are looking for a school that has maybe a lot of internships, an ROTC program, a study abroad, meaning where you study in another country. So these are some special study options. Again, you can use the filter, not up to you. Extended class. This is something to think about. Some of you might need more flexibility in your schedule. If you have to work while you're in college, it might be important to you that there are evening and morning classes, Saturday classes, or even weekend college because you might not be available during the day because you're working. So this might be important to some of you. So that could be a filter that you use. It's important to remember that when you go, if you go away to college or university, you want to have a happy life both inside the classroom and outside of the classroom. So it's not all about academics. So this filter lets you choose some sports and activities that maybe would make your life more fulfilling outside of the classroom. So sports, do you want to make sure they have a sport that you like to play, especially if you could be a scholarship athlete? Activities, like what if you're really, really into the marching band? Well, let's choose a school that has a marching band so you can be into it there. And all these other activities could apply to you. The other one, Greek life, fraternities and sororities, that might be a big deal to you. Some of you maybe have family traditions of fraternities and sororities, so you might want to use that filter. Academic credit. I know there are a lot of you listening to this that are taking one or more AP class. So I would use this filter and click offers credit for placement for advanced placement exams because you want to get some credit for it. So I would use that filter if you take or are taking AP classes. I know paying for college or university is an important thing to figure out, but for our purposes today, we're trying to figure out where you would want to go. Later on down the road, we'll figure out how to pay for it. So let's skip this for right now. I know that makes you nervous, but we're gonna. You might want to use this additional support program, campus services, and disability services. If any of these things apply to you, these are some filters you might want to use. And then the last filter would be diversity. So you can filter based on the percentage of minority students on campus or even specialized mission. You might have heard of an HBCU, a historically Black college or university, Hispanic serving institutions, or tribal colleges and universities. I'm going to go ahead and just do the sliding scale. All right, so now I've gone through all of these filters. I'm going to click close and see my results. And as you can see, I have a big old list of schools here in the state of Virginia, not big old, but a decent size, here in Virginia that fit the criteria of all these filters. And as you change these filters, these things will change. So say I'm looking at this, I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Let me look into it. You click on the school, and it'll bring you to some detailed information about that particular school, including deadlines, applying, what it's like on campus, all that good stuff. So there's the Big Future College Search. It's a really neat thing. You could, if you spend some time on there, you could get a really good list of schools that are a good fit for you. Enjoy, and we'll talk soon.